This podcast is powered by The Plug. The Connect with graffiti.
All right, man. So if you're listening right now, if you've ever touched a dial on FM radio in Denver, I know you know the voice that you're about to hear. It's an honor, man. I got Tony V in the building, Mr. Radio himself.
Olale, what's going down, everybody? No, that's my alter ego, Chewy, man.
Yeah, you know Chewy too, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, Graffiti. Thank you for having me on the show, man.
doubt,
I really
man.
appreciate that,
No
man.
doubt, man, bro.
Mad love.
How's your mental?
How's my mental? Oh man, I'm exhausted, and you know, you and I had a little bit of a conversation before the show started, but I'm exhausted, but I'm excited. I love coming into work every day. I love what I do as far as radio is concerned, but days can be long, and not only that, I think it's because of what I do and what's on my plate, but and I don't mean to come off negative in the beginning.
No.
When you say you're tired, oh man, he's tired. No. It's exhausting, but it's I'm in a gratifying place right now.
For sure.
Yeah, but I'm tired. Look at these
bags.
bags. If you're watching, listen. If you're listening, you can't. But if you're watching, you see these bags under my. This is luggage, fam. You can fill these bad boys
You
up.
earn those, bro. You earn those bags. But I like
thank
that
you,
answer
man.
because that's why I asked that question. Because often we be like, "How you doing?" Everybody's like, "Yeah, we're cool."
Yeah.
But yes, how's your mental? You got to think about that a little
Yeah,
bit.
well, you know what, and that's the thing, and what I've noticed on social media too, especially for men, a lot of people don't understand because there's this stigma where we're supposed to be hardcore. We're supposed to take in everything and not show emotion, right? We're just supposed to be whatever we are from a
machines.
macho standpoint, and from my Latino friends out there, machismo, right? We don't let anything get to us, but I'm glad you did ask that because mental is a big issue, especially for men, because a lot of men do go through it and we don't show it.
Yeah, it's real, man. It's real. All right, so there are 1,000,001 people that obviously know who I'm talking to, but those that do not know, can you just do a brief introduction? Let them know who Tony V is.
Wow. Jeez. Well, I've been in the business for about going a little over 30 years. It's going to be 30 years this year.
Wow.
When it hits October. If we're here that long. Anyway, that's an inside joke that radio peeps know about right now. You'll know soon enough. Anyway, so on that note, it's been an amazing career. I started out at KDKO, working for Dr. Daddio. If you are aware of Colorado streets in the Mahi City, then you know of. I always knew him as Brother Jeff X. He was a big mentor to me, and he did overnights and he did the Quiet Storm, and I had many talks with him, and he was a good mentor. He taught me radio. He taught me what it was to be part of my manhood came from just having conversations with him because of who he was as a man. And getting my start with Dr. Daddio and working in the 5 Points and, just being able to do community R&B radio, like that was big for me. And to come from that and to get where I'm at right now, it's been a long, fun career. But from KDKO, I went to KS 104, which got bought out by 107 in two different companies, Western Cities to company called Jefferson Pilot Communications, and I ended up working there, which got bought out by Lincoln Financial Media. 25 years for that company as far as KS 1075 was concerned. And then I actually left, man. I my contract expired, and I'm one of the few DJs who was able to just walk away and say that I wasn't going to re-sign and I was going to go in a different direction. I didn't think that I was going to come back to radio, but I kind of took the Tom Brady route. It was a 90-day hiatus, and then got called back to get on the field and came back, and it was really cool. It was really cool to come work for a company like Max Media, jamming 101.5 and Flow 107.1, mornings on Jam and afternoons at Flow, and to call this place home and to work with people like my dude Daniel Chav, call him on the ones and twos right now, and Sean and Jeff and Slim and even Kathy J coming back and all these people here. It definitely brought me back to where I started. Family type radio, and that's what KDKO was. So everything's come full circle to be here today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's been cool, man.
That's dope, man. A lot of people that know my story know that Dr. Daddio and KDKO and Brother Jeff, they're my inspirations for even doing this right now.
Oh, man, we're on the same page, right? So same trajectory. Let's go.
To hear you say that, man. So, obviously I've been following you and your journey and everything as well. And just watching radio, bro, like it is what you just said. I always fell in love with the community aspect of radio, the localized aspect, especially right now where everything being so everywhere, we can consume content and media all day. But it's like, what's happening in my city right in front of me,
Yes.
around me, and then
Yes.
hearing that from familiar voices and just having that vibe. I think that's something that you've been able to carry out throughout these 30 plus, if you're here that long, years, man.
It's been a while. I could be your dad. I'm just saying. I'm joking.
I mean,
I'm joking. I've been with my wife. We
he
got
might
our
be
own
one of
3
y'all's
kids.
dad.
I could be your uncle.
Yeah. But just talking about that, man, just kind of carrying that weight and going through those different transitions. And,
Yeah.
you know, the radio industry moves so fast paced. And one day is this format,
Yeah.
then it's another. Like you said, this station gets bought by this station, gets bought by.
Yeah.
Just talk about that a little bit.
So from a transition standpoint, I will say I was lucky to work at KS 1075, same format for 25 years. That was amazing in itself. And, you know, there's always highs and lows as far as the career is concerned. And KDKO, not necessarily a format change, but definitely a transition from AM radio, community family radio to corporate radio, which is a little bit different when it comes to things that you have a pulse on in the community and things that you can connect with, as opposed to corporate. We got to make money. How does this tie into money? When in community radio, you can go out and virtually just do the things that connect and help people in need who listen to you. And the platform is amazing because, and you can still do it in corporate radio,
Yeah.
but there's always, hey, how do we make money from this? How do we attach this to money? And I came from the Westwood Projects. I lived in the South Side. And for me, one of the things that I took out of radio was that this was a God-given platform for me. I'm not better than anybody. I'm not anyone who is more educated than anybody. I felt like, you know, God gave me a platform, and what can you do besides entertaining that is positive that can give back?
Right.
And so, you know, KS 1075 was an awesome opportunity to take some of the things I got from KDKO and start a food drive, the toy drive that we did, you know, and give back. Really, because knowing where I came from, it was really all about giving back. And I know that's kind of a side story, but that is one of the positive things that we were able to transition. And I got to a point where I was trusted. I had to earn the trust of corporate and the suits of, okay, it doesn't matter how much money we make, but because you're giving back and you're creating relationships, you're creating lifetime listeners, people that are going to tune in, and the money's going to come down the road. You're developing those community relationships where you can go out and, you know, they're just going to know you, not just from a giving back standpoint, but now we can also do business with you as well. So those go hand in hand. But for me, my most favorite part was the giving back part.
Absolutely.
And then getting here, coming back to, it was full circle for community because guys like Sean and Jeff, let's give back. What can we do to give back? And of course, there's always that money thing. You got to keep the lights on, right?
Got to, yeah.
Got to get paid, got to feed your kids. But for them to allow me to even have my 20th annual Thanksgiving food drive, that was huge. I didn't know if I was going to make it to 20, but we did it. And that's huge because I came from going to food pantries. I came from going to a Catholic church where I got a present. I was like 9 years old, and I got a gift that said 14-year-old boy on it. They didn't know who I was. Somebody donated, and it was a sweater that didn't fit me, but those things resonated with me as a kid so that if I had the opportunity, and it's crazy because in the beginning, when you first start radio, I'll just say this quickly. Oh, party, 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 me. Everybody look at it. You kind of feel yourself. And thank God for my wife, because she's like, oh, no, we're not doing this.
Reel it in a little bit.
We're not doing this. We're going to reel you in. You're not going to be that guy. And, you know, a lot of times you, as a grown man, you think, oh, I'm making my own decisions. Sometimes you get caught up. Everybody can get caught up. You get caught up in the limelight. You get caught up in making more money, and you think that you can do it forever.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way. I promise you, it does not work that way. Some people will find themselves working until they die if they don't do it right. You know what I mean? So long story short, I'm thankful that I had a wife to help me reel it in and help me realize what can we do with this platform? How can we not only build a brand, but also help the community in the process?
Yeah.
And I had a few mentors that, you know, Bob Call for Lincoln Financial Media and Jefferson Pilot, great mentor. You know, shout out to Cat Collins. Being able to work with Larry Kendall and Kathy, those guys were amazing. They had a great morning show. So to be able to piggyback and we had a great team. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? From Chones to the morning show to me to our night. Slim was doing nights at the time.
Yeah.
And we were in what was called a heyday of hip hop area. But to be able to connect with people, like that's important. And if you have a company or you have somebody that allows you to do that, that's where you can build the relationships and that's where you can break bread.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with more, man. And I think it's, you know, I often say it's the purpose over the profit. And that's kind of been my struggle with corporate media and just, you know, the radio industry
Yeah.
and just the way things are structured, because I'm such a purpose-driven person. And so when you find opportunities where you can combine both, that's perfect. Because like you said, you do have to keep the lights on, man.
Yep.
But it's you get consumed by that beast in many ways.
Oh, it could suck because
Yeah.
you could be giving of yourself and you could tirelessly give everything and end up with, you know, personally, it feels like you get nothing. And you are doing a good deed, right? People remember that, but it's not putting money in your pocket, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, shoot, I don't have any gas money because I gave my shirt off my back to somebody, or I did this event and put everything into it,
Yeah.
and I didn't get anything in return.
Yeah.
But one day you just got to keep pushing and grinding because it'll come back to you. Trust me,
Absolutely.
when I was a kid, I thought, man, I'm never gonna get out of here. I am always gonna be here. And a lot of it is, you know this, a lot of it is putting in the work.
Yeah.
You can be thankful for everything and everybody around you who support you and help you get to where you're going by, you know, little stepping stones or throwing you a bone or whatever. But you ultimately do the work. You ultimately are the grinder.
That's a big fact.
Yeah.
Big fact, man. So I do want to talk more about radio, but I want to rewind a little bit because you hit on a couple of things, man. Just
Okay.
talking about just your upbringing and your childhood and where you come from. Like you definitely have certain morals and principles that you stand on, and that had to come from somewhere. So if you could just talk about.
Oh yeah, shout out to my mom and dad.
Yeah.
I first and foremost, you know, God. You
Yeah.
know, we can't be here, can't do this without God. And you know, a lot of people beg to differ on your beliefs or whatever. And you know, I don't care. I know that I have a personal relationship. I know that I can get in the zone when it comes to God, and I know that my prayers have been answered. Miracles have been performed for me. So first and foremost, mom and dad. I actually came here when I was 3 months old. I came from Texas, and my mom and dad brought me. And I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but they're really my aunt and uncle.
Okay.
My mom died when I was 3 months old, and my dad. I'm the youngest out of 6 kids, and my mom and dad have had another child who's my sister, and they're my family. They're my mom and dad. My sister's my sister, and that opportunity and them coming here and, you know, laying the foundation, and, you know, a lot of it's the way that you're raised. You're fortunate to have 2 parents, and they've been together forever. They're actually staying with me right now. My dad's got the cancer situation going. A lot of people know about that. And,
Yeah.
you know, we're trying to help him get through and, you know, just be comfortable. But without mom and dad, without parental support, you know, it's hard. It's very difficult. And salute to one parent people, you know, whether you're a mom raising kids or a dad raising kids on your own, salute to you, because it is difficult. It is hard with 2 people doing it. So when you have a missing parent and you miss that balance, it is very difficult. So shout out to you for making it work. And that's another thing. That's another reason we give back, another reason that we volunteer and we coach. The world needs father figures.
Man,
you know what I
that's
mean? And
real.
that's big for us, me and my son, a lot of the people that I work with. If we can have a lot more father figures out in the community, we can help raise and bring up better men
Absolutely.
in society when it comes to that. So, you know, big ups to my pops for being that, number one, the foundation and being a rock. So
Yeah. Man, absolutely.
Yeah.
The world needs more father figures. That's
for sure, bro.
That's a
Yeah.
fact, man. Cool, man. So breezing along, we fast forward, right? So we got platforms like we're on right now, the
Yep.
Connect, we're podcasting, we're on YouTube, there's social media, everything's just moving, man. There's Spotify, the game is changing drastically and fast. Then we got terrestrial FM radio. And, you know, you read these things every day. Oh, yo, radio's dying. Blah, blah, boom, boom, boom. You hear all these different things.
Yeah.
But as someone that's been in this industry and seen every, you know, peak and turn, where are we right now, in your opinion, in the world of terrestrial radio? And where do you think it's going?
It is crazy because you said terrestrial radio. Like, you know, if you're making that reference, then we're already looked at as dinosaurs, right? We're already looked at as, oh, it's about to go extinct. There's this pre-notion that it's going to be gone. I mean, you said in the beginning of introducing this next topic. And so here's my take on it. I think it all comes down to the person, right? If you grew up in a time and you go back to your life on memories of when you were a teenager and a young adult, there are a ton of memories that have music and entertainment that are connected to that.
Yes.
And if you hear a song, especially on one of our stations, it always takes you back to a moment. And there are a ton of people, there are millions of people who are my age, a little bit older, and a little bit younger, who are still attached to a time when old school hip hop and throwback hip hop and even old school R&B still makes a difference. So I believe that it's not a matter of what people think about the business. I think it's the individual. We get stuck in habits. We get stuck in certain ways, the way that we do things, right? And some people get stuck in eras and genres, if you will. So the people listening to us right now at Jammin' and Flow, they have habits of turning on the radio.
Yeah.
So as long as they're around and as long as we continue to play what we play, radio can be around for 20, 30, 40 years. Now, these young kids, the newer kids, my kids, my grandkids, your future kids, a couple generations down the road, things have changed.
Right.
Talk about the Spotifys, the YouTubes of the world, the TikToks. That audience is obviously searching for something else.
Yeah, for sure.
When it comes to radio, it is not so much in the interest. Radio falls in one of those places where it's just another outlet. And if you happen to turn it on or tune in, now for me as someone who loves music and loves radio, if I hear something on TikTok or I hear something on Spotify or see something on TV, or underground music, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of people who continue to make music that is considered underground because it hasn't gone commercial yet. When it hits the radio, I'm like, oh, hell no, what? Oh, they playing that?
Yeah.
I get more excited hearing on a radio station than I would on Spotify.
That's real.
Because I feel like someone has taken the time to recognize that and throw that on the radio. So to answer your question, I know it was kind of long and drawn out, but I felt like I had to paint this picture. There are people out there who listen to radio by habit. So as long as they continue to do that, and we have a platform and a genre of music that affects them and entertains them, then they'll still be there.
For sure.
When that goes, and I'm basically saying it like this, when the older generations start to die off, it'll start changing. And who knows what's going to happen as far as music is concerned. Talk radio, I don't know. I think that is still huge. I feel like we're still in a place where we can be around for a while. But as far as the younger music right now, the newer hip hop and the newer pop radio that you're listening to, the younger generation is looking for other places as far as those outlets are concerned.
I agree with that, man. You said something important. So the nostalgia piece of it, right? I spoke on this before. It's, I'm a millennial, right? So my oldest son is 16. So I hear what he hears, I see what he sees, whatever. I personally have no interest in being like the TikTok guy. I have, like you said, I have emotional ties to radio and certain music.
Right.
It's just that triggers something in me. It's the nostalgia piece. So I still enjoy radio because I think back and the music that you're playing, all that.
You're connected.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think in general, society kind of has this thing where we feel like we have to appeal to what's next all the time.
Of course.
And I don't think that's good because it becomes a toxic mentality because you start to ignore the people that are still here.
Yep.
So speaking as a millennial, there's a whole pocket of us that, whether it's radio, whether it's new media, whatever, it's kind of breezed over because you either go like the super classic nostalgic era or what's new. And it's like, yo, like we listen to 50 Cent and Young Jeezy. That's classic to us because that's what I was listening to in high school.
Yep.
And that's radio. That's these different platforms.
Right.
So I agree, man. I don't think it goes anywhere from that standpoint, but it also has to do with the music being played.
Of course.
I don't think like classic hip hop, R&B ever really goes anywhere. You know what I mean? Because like you said, I'm aging into this platform still.
Right.
But I do see the way media is being consumed, and that's why I refer to it as terrestrial, because radio in other formats still exists. I listen to radio via Apple Music. I listen to radio via YouTube too. So I don't think radio dies. I just think the way it's consumed might drastically start to.
But is it the same?
It's not the same, It's not the same.
Right.
No, it's not the same. But I think we live in a society now, especially pre-COVID, where, you know, you might not, like if I tell my son get in the car right now and turn to, you know, 107.1, he's like, how do I do that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what do you mean? You got the aux? Or
dials or
is it
what,
Bluetooth?
right,
Like,
exactly. What is that?
What are you talking about? And so I think that's kind of what we are forming into. Those that know.
Right.
But when you got Alexa home systems and all that, and it's just like, yo, play 107.1, and you're just sitting at the crib, I think that's kind of where we are today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you know, when it comes to music, like I felt like I raised my kids to like the old school and like the stuff that I like because they'll still listen to it. They know that there were pioneers, and a lot of music today still has that evolution, that same sound, and you hear it in remixes or remakes of songs where, and you could educate people like, oh, that came from there. You know, P. Diddy cut this, but it really came back from the OJs. What? That came back from the 70s? What are you talking about? Then you have that conversation, which is great. But then you also have, you know, like I said, I'm raising my kids right in the sense of music, but my grandkids, oh, Pop, that's trash. What? Yeah. Wait a minute. What do you mean that's trash?
Yeah.
Oh, Lil Tecca's the guy. What? What are you talking about? And Tecca's cool. Listen, me as a hip hop head, I have evolved. Mm-hmm. You have to. You sit down with the kids and your kids and you talk about music, you see what they like, and that keeps you in the know of what's going on. You're doing a great job the same way. You said it earlier. One thing I will say is when it comes to media and how we consume it now, social media and media kind of messed us up.
Yeah.
Because there's so much hitting us at the same time, right? We're getting hit left and right. Our attention span is gone away. And for the younger kids, if TikTok is not playing it, it's not a hit. It has nothing to do with someone's personal feelings anymore. I feel like we're lost. It's popular. If you flip the dial on a couple stations right next to us, they're playing what TikTok is dictating.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll tell you what, I had a conversation one time with this kid, and he walked up to me, he goes, you know my dad, fool, right? And his dad did know me, right? His little kid, and you know, and I hooked him up some passes to go in the haunted house, and he goes, you on TikTok? And I'm like, yeah, I'm on TikTok. I just jumped on, right? I'm pretty excited. And by the way, I'm not a TikToker either. I got like 200 followers, right? And at the time, I had like 50 followers, right? So he looks at my TikTok because I think he's going to follow him, right? And he goes, dang, you ain't even famous, fool. Oh my, I was embarrassed, but it was the funniest thing at the same time. And my son was there and a couple other people, and they all busted out laughing. I was like, my Facebook, I got 180,000 followers. What's Facebook? Like, they don't. What are you talking about? And that, you know, like my social media platform is becoming dinosaur, right?
Yeah.
Instagram. Are you on Instagram? Oh, no, Snapchat, fool. Snapchat and TikTok, fool.
Yeah.
And I, you know, and it was crazy because this kid was telling me, I go, so do you approach women or people that you're interested in hanging out with and go talk to them and have conversations? He goes, nah, I just asked for their Snapchat, fool. Yeah. And I was like, what? Like, that's how people communicate now. Right. Communication has changed. You go to restaurants, it's not just the music. It's not just how we consume. People do this the whole time.
For sure.
You can see a couple, and you're like, are they texting each other? Are they looking at something else? Where's the communication? I promise you, I challenge you, do it. Watch how many people are looking down at their phones when they're together. We are getting lost in the world of communication, and it's affecting everything.
It is, man. I think that's where radio, in essence, no matter how you consume it, I think that's where radio kind of is that Band-Aid because it's the soul. You know what I mean? Like, if I had to just put it in one word, that soul is missing right now. And also on top of that, just programmatic music and just anything right now is kind of needed. I'll go to a playlist or I'll listen to radio for that reason because there is so much all the time. I'm like, damn, I get overwhelmed, bro. I don't know what to listen to today or where to listen to it at. Yeah. Let me just turn on the radio real quick and, you know, hear Tony V talk because you're actual human, and then hear some music. Right. You know what I mean? Like this is what he likes, or something like that programming of, you know, this is a human giving you soul in real time.
It's a type of interaction.
You can't mimic that, man.
And AI is coming too. So now if you hear it on Spotify, you're going to hear maybe this sexy woman or this cool sounding dude, and they're not even real.
It's literally
Hi, how are you?
DJ.
It's not even it sounds real.
Yeah.
Like it sounds real now. And I'm like, oh, well, this is a perfect time to get out because the robots are coming. They're taking our ish. You know what I'm saying?
They're here, man.
And you know what's funny is you said something that you talk about, like having that connection. And earlier in the before we even got on the program, you said, is there anything that you want to plug? I just realized I do want to plug something. I want to plug my TikTok. Follow me, all right? 'Cause I'm not famous, fool. All right?
There you go. There you go.
But
man.
I will say this, and this is something for the locals, and it's going to come here in the next couple of weeks. Any local legends who have had, who've done music and have never been recognized back in the day when I was at the other radio station, KS 107.5s of the world, please get at me. The Apostles of the world, the Deuce Mobs of the world, rest in peace fame, but A-Dub, if you're out there, we're going to do something special. We already started doing it with Dank One. I put Symes Carter, Melissa Lujan. We're gonna start doing something on Flow for the local Denver legends.
Got it.
And show them some love. And I think that's needed and recognized because they did put in a lot of work. And I think a lot of people were trying to make Denver kind of an LA hub or a Texas hub or a New York hub when it came to music. And corporate didn't want them to do that. Corporate didn't care about that because corporate, we only play hits and we're here to make money. We're going to do something special. And there are a lot, Interstate Ike, there's some OGs out there who have some really good music that was, I thought at the time was radio worthy, but we couldn't do anything about it. And now we can do a little something about it.
Perfect, man. That's perfect. We'll go ahead and wrap up. But last thing, if you can, I usually say if you can go back and talk to your younger self, but I'm going to put it like this because you are an OG in the game and you're still in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right now, there's somebody out there that is listening that might be younger and they're like, I still want to be in broadcasting. I still want to do radio. Like, forget what y'all are saying. This is still my passion. What would be some advice for them?
I say go for it. I think this business and what we're doing right now, whether it's podcasting, whether it's radio, any entertainment form that you desire, do it. There's a lot of things that it does for you personally.
Yeah.
It builds confidence. It makes you more self-aware. You pay attention to what's going on. Your opinions and who you are valuable. And if you can create a platform to do that, that's amazing. But also be responsible with that platform. And I always say this, if you ever get to a spot where you are able to affect and be positive with people, use that platform in a positive way and give back. Find a way to give back. Find a way to help people out. Find a way to look out for the community. And I promise it goes a long way. People will never forget you. And you're doing God's work.
Yeah, that's real. Plug your TikTok one more time, man. What's your TikTok?
I don't even know. I can't remember. I think it's at Tony Vizzle. Follow me on TikTok, okay? I'm good on Instagram. I'm good on Facebook. I'm okay on Snapchat. I don't really care about Snapchat, but just follow me on TikTok, all right?
Yeah.
I want to be able to go live because I heard that you can make money.
Yeah, you can make money.
I need to make some money.
Yeah, we're going to get Tony TikTok.
But I need I think I need 1,000 or 10,000 followers. I think I'm like at 297. But I'm like you, bro. I'm like, I jump on, I'll check some stuff out. And, it is what it is.
I got them. I've had one, and I don't know, bro. Like the actual layout of TikTok is overwhelming for me, but that's a whole different conversation. But I just started just putting my stuff on there. I'm like, I'm everywhere anyway, but I can't be like the TikTok guy.
Right.
But clips of this will be on TikTok and all that, and we'll tag you. And we'll get your TikTok game up, bro.
Let's do it, man. Let's get each other's TikTok game up, bro.
My man, Tony V. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you as well.
I'm Graffiti. Out.